So Jeff Hurst, the Trevor Brooking and Billy Bonds, Paolo Di Canio, West Ham United. We celebrate our victories, we stick together in defeat. Proud of our history, West Ham United, more than just a podcast. More than just a podcast.
Good afternoon, good evening, or good morning. This is more than just a podcast. It is season 12, and I think it's episode 4. I don't know, I haven't checked, but it's around there. And hola from Spain. With me, not in Spain, but with me tonight virtually is John. Where are you? What are you doing?
I'm at home, listening to you, bigging it up about being in Spain.
Well, you've been here, haven't you?
Is that my sangria?
And Nigel, where are you? What are you doing?
I'm in my shed.
Shedman.
There you go.
Now, I should say, right, because I'm in Spain, if I mentioned it before, Nigel's in charge of the buttons tonight, so he might mute me occasionally. So,
Like that.
let's start. We've got 2 games to discuss. It might be a quick one tonight because we want to watch the complete annihilation of Manchester United and Liverpool by Liverpool. We've got 2 games. Let's start with the Europa Conference League game. Did either of yous twos watch it?
Yes.
Let's start with you then, John. What did you make of it? I think we called them the Danish fishermen last week.
Dog and duck.
Yeah, it's
Dog
a
and
pub
duck,
team,
that's it.
wasn't it? They
Yeah.
weren't very respectful.
They were all right.
They were pretty decent. They passed the ball well. They held it well. They just got done by us where we had 2 or 3 spells of sort of like decent passing, high-paced football and done them, didn't we?
What did you
Scored
make
the
of
goals.
Skamaka and Cornet?
Well, I thought they both had good games. Skamaka's finish was good. And I thought Cornet particularly. I mean, I'm disappointed they didn't start the weekend, but that's the next game. But yeah, it wasn't.
What did you make of Harrison?
Harrison Ashby.
Yes, although
Yeah,
they got
I
his
thought-
name right on the scoreboard. I was
Well,
told not to
again, I
mention
thought
that.
him and Connor Coventry and. I think they did. They didn't do anything wrong, did they? They did all right.
Well, I'm not sure about Connor Coventry. I didn't think it was one of his best games, but I thought
Well, what did he? What
Harrison, I
does he have
thought
to do? You know?
was spectacular. I thought he's really one for the future. I thought it was one of the best games, and I haven't seen him play many. But I've seen him play.
Well, I just thought, the whole team performance wasn't as we have been. It's still was a bit lethargic. It was a bit slow, and I say when we did finally go at them with a bit of pace and a bit of quick football, we scored.
Mm.
But that's sort of symptomatic of what's been going on with us since in pre-season as well, and some will even say back to games from the end of last season. But it wasn't the greatest performance, but it got the job done. It was a
3-1.
mixed up team, yeah.
Yeah.
It's good to get the third
Good
goal.
goals.
So,
Good
yeah,
goals. Good goals.
Good to get the third goal and get it in that 2-goal cushion when we
But
go back there.
the Bowen goal was a good goal.
It was a very
Skamaka,
good
good
finish,
to get
yeah.
his first goal.
Yeah, it was a good finish.
I'm trying
Yeah.
to think who got the other one.
I can't. Who got the other one? Nigel.
Bowen.
Well, Bowen got the
Skamaka.
third. Antonio.
Antonio,
yeah,
of
it
course
was a
it
touch
was.
out. What's his name when Ben Rama came on?
Yeah.
Ben Rama,
was
one
all
of the
down
best
to him.
games we've ever seen him play as well. He seems to have the bit between his teeth. I've been told he's rubbish.
All right.
We'll talk about the dressing room thing a bit later.
Perhaps we'll have to send a Danish singing if he does well.
Yeah, maybe. What did you... I know you didn't go because of... congratulations on your
Yeah,
granddaughter, isn't it?
Thank you, granddaughter. Yeah.
Granddaughter. So you didn't go,
Nope.
which probably was a good idea because the bloody journey was horrendous. But I'll talk about that in a minute.
Yeah. Well, I'm a bit relieved we got the third goal.
Yeah.
I didn't think we were that great, to be honest. I suppose it's hard with a game like that because obviously, flippantly I was calling them the dog and duck, but Viborg came out with a game plan and I thought executed it well. And if Viborg had a striker, I think it may have been a different game. So,
Yeah.
but then you hear that two of their best players were not allowed in the country
Yeah.
because the game was arranged too late for them to get visas. And actually, that's pretty poor. From the British government side of things, people talk about Brexit. That ain't part of Brexit. Football clubs used to travel to this country before we were in the EU and play European games.
Yeah.
So that's nonsense that the British government couldn't just go, yeah, you can come in, lads. These are professional sportsmen. So that's bad. The funny thing is, they'll obviously be available, this week on Thursday.
Yeah. Well, we'll see
So,
what happens.
they've
sold out the allocation.
Yeah, well,
West Ham.
it's. I just think that it's sometimes it's hard.
Do you fancy going to Denmark yourself?
Not at the moment with work, no. So obviously I'm work for a living now, rather than employ myself. So I go where I can. What I mean in regards to Coventry, it's when you get a game like that.
Yeah.
I don't know if he felt the pressure, because sometimes it's like your football career at West Ham rests on that one game. That's a lot of pressure.
Yeah.
If it is, but then Ashby, as you said, was the better of the two.
He was. He stood out. Didn't he?
I suppose Moyes was right in the mixture of the team that he played. So we got a 3-1 victory. Disappointing to concede a goal, but still, it was good for their fans because they looked like they had a whale of a time, not just in the stadium,
they
in
were
London.
brilliant, by the way.
So
I saw them over the wall in Finley, and they were fair play to them. They, we saw them outside, and they were just really good-humoured and really passionate, and they just, shirts off at the time of their lives, which were good. They sung, they danced, they waved their shirts in the air, and they didn't even care. They carried on.
And they lost 3-1 and
they got
cheered
3-1.
Their team at the end.
Yeah.
Fair
play.
I think there's a bit of, there's a lesson for us all there.
Yeah, absolutely. 1,100 tickets was the allocation at 30 quid each. Started with season ticket holders with 42 points, which I assume is not you, Nigel.
No.
And I know they sold out today. But look, Philly and myself went because I was in the country and I thought, well, better go to a game then, shouldn't I? But I said flippantly on this podcast, oh yeah, we've got no problems with the train strike in Surrey. Yeah, right. So decided, because I wasn't risk the trains, I would drive. Seemed like a good idea at the time. Drove along the M25, accident on the M25, started using Waze and Google Maps to take me off-road. Took me through Croydon, past Ann Summers and David Gold's house and everything else. And,
Up the A22 then?
Yes, absolutely. But ended up in a massive queue for the Blackwall Tunnel. I don't know if that's usual or not.
Yes.
Anyway, cut a long story short, I left at 3 o'clock. We didn't arrive till 7 o'clock. 4 o'clock, at 7 o'clock. Took us 3 hours, almost 3 hours to get there. And I decided to park in Westfield. Right? I know. Yeah, I know that now. So anyway, gets better. We watch the game and we're talking about the boycott and the, and the beer and everything else and the prices dropping later. But, we watched the game and it was a good humoured game and it was good. By the way, we're in section 112 now since the move. and we can see over the wall. Sorry, Dodsey. 113 are the people affected by this new anti-banter wall. Us in 112, which is the next section, actually can see over it. So our view is not so bad, and I guess yours is not because you're on top, Nigel. Anyway, the game finished, and we're thinking, all right. So I said to Mark and Carmel and Keith, who sit with us and listen to this podcast, we looked at some of the tubes were shutting down and some of the, before the strike. And I said, look, if you want to lift home, come in with me. And they said, oh, that would be brilliant, Sean. So they jumped in with me. Anyway, schoolboy error, I parked in car park B at the top P2, which is the bottom floor, furthest away from the exit. And there was a sign when I paid, there was a queue to pay for your ticket, and it said you've got a queue of up to 2 hours. Anyway, we didn't move for the first hour. I mean, we were at the back of the queue, we did not move. And 90 minutes later, at 11:30, we finally got free. And even then, there's road closures and queues in the middle of the night. But it gets better than that. So we got home, I think I got home about 1:30. I dropped the others off about just after 1 o'clock, and I got home at 1:30. But then it turns out I've got a Land Rover, right? So I'm not allowed to. I have to pay the ultra low emission zone. But because I was still in it at midnight, I have to pay it twice. So I had to pay £12.50 for the ultra low emission zone, and another £12.50 for the next day, Friday. Even Westfield, because it took me so long to get out, tried to charge me another £3 on the £8 I paid to begin with. But there, it's all it's all sacrifices you make to watch West Ham. But little bit, if you ever go to Westfield, I think Nigel will say don't go to Westfield. But if you do, park at car park A, or be close to the exit at least, and try and get there early. Because never again will I do that. You'll probably say don't ever park there, aren't you? That I was a glutton for punishment, do it in the first place.
Yeah, I did chuckle when I
1:30 in the morning.
When you
I don't think I've ever been that late back, even after like penalties and extra time.
Yeah, when you said you'd gone into car, because the stories are pretty horrific generally on a game by game basis with the Westfield car park. Westfields don't want you to park in their car park.
No.
Now, as you said, there's nothing they can do to stop it. I did find myself reading SAG minutes a couple of weeks ago, and it seems that Westfields every week or every meeting point out they don't want people parking in the car park. But to point it out in that meeting chuckles me, because you think, well, who in that meeting parks in there on a match day?
Well, it gets even better. I mean, we were there for so long that there's just chaos there. They've got no stewarding. They're not sorting it out. Everyone's bibbing each other because they're cutting in each other. We were right at the back of the queue, right by an exit, which they close off. So we finally start moving, and the steward says to us, there was a steward finally in the car park, says, oh yeah, we've opened that exit. So where I started, I had to go then right the way up again and go to the back of the queue where I started.
To get out. Well, why don't they open that exit anyway?
Well, apparently they didn't know the road's open, but Finley and Mark had walked down there and found the road's open and told Westfield that, the road's open. They went, all right, we're opening the exit now. Chaos. They should work for West Ham.
Yeah, it's I think because the road comes out. I think that road, I know where you are. I think that'll come out where they do the stop go for the station.
Yeah, that's exactly where it comes out.
Yeah. So obviously,
a little tip: if you're ever driving, don't park. Where would you recommend for a night game to park?
I'm not going to say because my car parking place keeps filling up. So
okay.
I mean,
I've
given up
parking. Hackney Wick, or some people said park in Canary Wharf.
Try there, yeah.
O2. O2's
I wouldn't go O2 because that's far too expensive. I mean, even from you, if you wanted to take a chance, you could find parking around any train station, the Jubilee line, down at Canning Town. Yeah.
Anyway, I learnt my lesson. It was an experience. We had a great chat about cheese on the way home, and I said, And Keith said it's a while since you've mentioned cheese.
There's a
We
reason
won't
for that,
mention it
Keith.
tonight. There is a reason.
Yeah.
Lovely bit of Wensleydale. But
Oh.
anyway, got some nice cheese in Spain, actually. Anything else you
Spain,
want to
Sean?
say about the game? Do we think we finish the business next Thursday, John?
This
I-
Thursday.
This Thursday, yeah.
I like to think so. It depends what team you put out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a bit disheartening, isn't it? Little bit of trivia just before we move on to the next game. Someone just asked me this, and funny enough, just tweeted it out. Last game, West Ham lost 3 in a row and were rock bottom of the Premier League.
The last game,
Last season, sorry.
when was the last time we did it?
Yeah.
What, lost the first few games?
We
of the
lost
season?
3, actually. 4 in a row, and we were rock bottom of
Was
the...
it that? What's his name?
Who?
What's
I don't
when
know.
he started? Pellegrini.
You're absolutely right, yeah. 2018, we made 9 signings. We had a new manager. We were full of optimism. We'd signed Philippe Anderson, and we lost our first 4 games, including Bournemouth.
Yeah.
I think we did the same in 2010 to 2011, didn't we, Nigel? Your stat man.
And yeah, I don't know. I was looking recently at Moyes' record more than anything after
Yeah,
his
well,
strange
Pellegrini lost 4 of the
comments.
first 4 games.
Yeah.
I think we played someone like Liverpool. Yeah, I'm just going to look. Yeah, we lost Liverpool first game of the season 4-0 away. We lost at home to Bournemouth 2-1. Arsenal beat us at the Emirates 3-1. We did win a cup game, so AFC Wimbledon 3-1, but obviously we're talking league.
Oh, that Wimbledon game, yeah, but we were lucky to win that.
Yeah,
if you
and then we
remember.
lost 1-0 at home to Wolves the
Yes,
1st September.
Traore.
Yeah, that was the 4th game, Premier League game on the trot, and then we won 3-1 away to Everton for our first win of the season.
So the Yarmolenko game.
I think you might be right, actually.
Yeah.
I think you might be right.
Yeah,
Yarmolenko scored 2.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
Arnautovic scored the other one.
Yeah, I thought so. It's not. I mean, we've not covered Sunday's game. I found his comments. I find Moyes a bit strange at the moment.
He's not helping
Yeah.
himself. is
No,
He's
and
not.
that's no. He's
He's
not.
been a bit too critical, and I don't think he's really helping.
he? Not reading the room, is he?
No.
He's not reading the room, and John said this on our WhatsApp group, and I agree with it, and I'll go a bit further. We're missing Mark Noble in the dressing room. I think I'll go further. We're missing Stuart Pearce as well, and in the absence of those 2 key figures, Moyes and Rice are probably struggling to have the same gravitas that those former 2 had in the dressing room, and creating that spirit in the dressing room. I might be wrong, but
Yeah, it is hard to pinpoint it. There's obviously something not right there, and the weird thing about it is, so this is where I come from. If you look at the end of last season, it weren't that great, and the European run sort of masked a poor finish.
Yeah,
to
it
the
was a
season.
poor finish in the league.
And if you look at the teams that we beat, it was like Norwich, Burnley, Watford, I think Everton and Villa. 5 victories, and so which were all teams that were struggling. But anyway, you can sort of draw a line under that. With the new signings, to play 3 games and to not play the attacking new signings,
yeah.
it baffles me. And then he comes out with these comments like, "Oh, I don't lose 3 games,"
Yeah.
and you think, well, one, you just have,
Yeah.
and as I tweeted, twice in the past with West Ham, you've done it. You know, someone actually pointed out to me, technically he's lost 4 in a row now because he lost the
Yes,
last game of the
Brighton.
season. Yeah. So,
Brighton.
So, and it,
We will. I mean, I'm sure you've seen the stats. We've only won 2 games in the last 10.
yeah.
And it's that the stat they put on the football I was watching, on the stream I was watching. I mean, we've played Brighton 10 times in the Premier League. We've not beaten them yet.
Yeah, 11 now, yeah.
We lost. We lost that last game of the season. We went in half time in the league where we were in the Europa League,
Yeah.
and we still lost the game.
Yeah.
End up in the So when you see it like that, it isn't very good.
Well, there's the old saying: no manager can survive 8 Premier League losses on the bounce, isn't there?
Well, I don't.
Who's saying that
yeah,
is.
I don't.
I know we've had this argument before.
Yeah.
But
do you know what? I will might agree with you. It's very difficult to survive losing the first 8.
Yeah.
Now we've had periods where
the first 8 Premier League games.
Yeah, we've had periods where we've lost I can think of 6, 7 in a row. We've hit a bad slump like come November, December time.
Not the beginning of the season.
No, but not the beginning of the season. And the thing is, I at the start of the season, I said realistically, to have a half decent start, we need 4 points from the first 3 games. And we've got none. And then
no goals.
And no goals.
And we got if we don't get anything at Villa Park, we've got then Spurs and Chelsea.
Yeah, and then Newcastle.
But it's typical of us to
beat Spurs. Yeah,
it's just
and Chelsea.
The thing is, the man's got enough credit in the bank for everyone to just
of course he has.
Just relax for a bit. Let's just not overreact.
It's hard, and that's the thing. There is an overreaction. A lot of people overreact. There's people going, Moyes out. He's got to go for the chop. And you think what? So he's been with us 2.5 years. This is probably, apart from when he first came back, he lost 3 games when he first came back in 2020. But we were a poor team, weren't we? Yeah. And he then turned it around. It's possible lockdown helped him in a way, because while like the players weren't, they still would have been training, and where they weren't playing, they didn't have the pressure of the constant games. So he lost 3 in a row. Funny enough, then. So he lost the last game before lockdown, Arsenal, and then the first 2 back, before he managed to turn it around. So, but I don't, all this sack Moyes, he needs to go and everything. I don't agree with that. But even I suppose today, I was critical of him. I was critical of him today in an article I wrote, because I can't sit here and you can't defend the indefensible. And the thing is, as I said, was the phrase is if it ain't broke, don't fix it. But the thing is, it's pretty obvious it's broke, and he's not fixing it. And then he comes out with these things where he says, Cornet and Skamaka ain't playing because they've not had the pre-season minutes or whatever.
Or they're not showing it in training.
Yeah, but then I'm thinking, well, when you had the chance to play Skamaka in pre-season, you didn't. You let him walk round Westfields. I know I've done it before, but I'll bring it up again because he keeps mentioning crap like this. Well, that Kerrer, the German defender, straight into the team.
Yeah.
Well, he's not played the minutes or whatever.
And cost us a penalty and nearly got a red card.
Yeah, and and you think when you see what Skamaka and Cornet, how well they linked up for the goal, why didn't he bring them both on together?
Well, why didn't he just start them? Antonio has scored in how many games? He's just not.
Well, he's scored midweek, hasn't he? He's scored as many goals this season as Skamaka has.
Yeah, but it's just that's where I can see the frustration. I can understand it, but I'm not there saying let's get rid of him. You can't start calling for his head.
No, of course
you can
not.
You can understand, when you've got Cornet and Skamaka the way they played we're crying out for that.
Yeah.
We're too predictable, aren't we, though?
Yeah,
what commentators say is, other teams have found West Ham out. We played this counter attacking football.
Yeah.
But he said that himself,
and
didn't he?
now commentators say they can guess the team. But I mean, we can all guess the team. You know,
But he
it's so
said that as
predictable.
well himself in one of those podcasts.
Yeah, we can. You know, you can name the team. You know, you don't need ex-West Ham employee. You can name the team. You can almost guess the team and go, well, he's only going to change one player at most, and only if they're injured.
Yeah.
Right? He doesn't seem to be.
But, you know, the
you know,
likes of
what-
the likes of Souček should be sat on his arse. He's just not performing.
How about Downs? What did he say about Downs, John? That you tweeted us the other day, because we'd heard privately that he wasn't impressed with Downs in training. What did he say?
I don't know. I can't remember. What did I? Did I? I didn't say anything about
Yeah, he
Downs,
did.
did I?
Yeah, yesterday. It was only yesterday. Your memory's going, mate.
What did I? What was that on the WhatsApp group?
On the WhatsApp.
Yeah, I think it had come out about he's not impressed with Dan's in training.
Yeah. Which is what we'd heard, but we didn't say it publicly, and you know he's now said it publicly. You know how to motivate your players.
But then he said he was only buying players to push for the first team.
Yeah, I
squad.
know.
So,
It doesn't.
So
it
what's
doesn't.
going on there then?
Look, in Moyes we trust. We're not going to join the bandwagon. Well, certainly I'm not. I'm going to call for his head and Moyes out. But you know, he does need to. He needs to take some constructive criticism and sort it out. He needs to mix it up a bit. You know, not be predictable, because the other teams have just worked us out and they just stopped us playing our game, which is exactly what Brighton did. You know,
Yeah, well,
they
let's
knew
talk
our
about-
tactics. They knew
Talk
it.
about Brighton. Talk about that game, and that tells
Yeah, let's talk
everything
about
you need
it.
to know.
Well, John, let's start with you again.
Well,
Um,
it was
what you watched it, I assume.
Yeah,
I
it
hope.
was
You probably regretted it.
a terrible performance all round.
Yeah,
Everybody is out of form, and
Yeah.
notably,
I agree with you on this one. I thought the first one, you know, playing City, were unlucky at Forest, but this one there was no excuse.
yeah, I mean, the things that really stand out for you is the likes of Rice has been really poor, and he hasn't performed. And you know, when you've got players, your star
He's probably
player
been on daddy duties.
Well,
you
I
know?
know, he's
He's
just
probably
had a
been
little
kept
one.
awake at night with his new baby.
could be that, or it could be other things, couldn't it? But you know, it's just when you've got your star player who's clearly not performing, well, you could always rely on him. You know, you can't rely on him anymore, and you see it, and it just stands out for miles. You know, how Souček just kept giving the ball away, but then Moyes then takes off Fornals, and you think, well, why don't you take Souček off? Bring Fornals to sit back in there with Rice. And
I mean, Fornals didn't have his best game.
he was, but he was doing more than most. He does get about the place, and he does get in their faces.
Yeah.
So he has more about him than Souček at the moment. So drop him in there, and then bring the new players on.
Let me be a bit contentious, John. Have we played a really good up-and-coming team? Are Brighton top six material this season?
I'm
They-
not sure. See,
Well,
I
You
think
know
I
where I'm
said-
going with this, don't you, though? They are looking.
Oh, they're a good
They got
team.
some results last season. They beat us last game of the season. They've
they've
got some
beaten us all
really
the
good
time.
results, not just against West Ham.
But you know, I said this on the group, didn't I? So could you imagine? Because if you look what they did, they had no proper ground. They had, you know, they were playing in like a council park, the old Withdean Stadium. Someone's
Yeah.
come in there. They set them up, set them up properly, made them a new stadium. They got that guy in who was the head of football at the England set up, wasn't he? They got him in to be their director of football, and they've just set the whole thing up properly. You know, they were talking about them selling. They sold £100 million worth of players this summer, and they've had their best
Yeah.
start to a season ever.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's what I was saying. Just imagine having that professional setup at a club like ours, and then the amount of money that we've been throwing about to back that up with.
Yeah.
We would be challenging. But that's
Yeah.
the difference. We just don't have a proper setup. You just look at that. It's embarrassing to see their quality of player that they get out of nowhere and then sell them on for 50 million. And then have a ready-made replacement to take over. But I did say last season that when we didn't strengthen in January last year, that this is our chance, because this season I believe the likes of Palace have got quality and they're building, and the manager's got something about him. They're going to be pushing. Newcastle are going to be pushing. We're going to be struggling to keep in the top 10 if we even get anywhere near it, you know. So,
Moyes said the penalty changed the game.
yeah, it came right at the end of the game, didn't it? Just while we were on top.
22 minutes.
I mean, I think it's debatable that shouldn't have been a free kick outside the box. I think he went down and took him at the start of the tackle was outside the box. So I thought VAR.
Yeah, but I think what happened is, when you look at it, he actually caught him when he was inside the box. So he went to ground. No, that's the thing. I think he went to ground, and he went to ground early, and then the connection was made when he was.
Did you see all the replays? And
yeah. Well, this is me watching it back on YouTube last night when I got in. So
that's the sort of VAR decision that goes against us all the time.
Yeah, because I was
And
screaming
going for
blue
other
murder in the stadium. I thought it was the biggest load of bollocks ever. And then it weren't until I got home and I watched it on Sky Sports YouTube channel, because I wanted to see it again. And it was like, oh right, okay.
But you could see that is genuinely the sort of thing that always goes against us. But if it happens against us, we wouldn't get it.
Yeah.
How much of this is they're our bogey team? Because they are our bogey team now. They're a new bogey team.
Well, that's bollocks, though, isn't it?
It should be.
That is
it
absolute
should be.
bollocks.
But there does seem to be some, I don't know, self-fulfilling prophecy. How bogey teams keep on just beating us and beating us.
Is it mental then? Because this is the thing. When you look back at it, this is a run that goes back. How many managers have they had in the Premier League? 3?
Yeah, a lot. Yeah, different players as well. It becomes.
This is the thing. So it was Chris Hughton. We've never beat them in the Premier League. As I say, it's 11 times now. So they've had 5 seasons in the Premier League to not beat Brighton.
I know, it's crazy. As soon as we saw that, we went, well, we can't guarantee that one.
No, but then again,
didn't you?
But May was still fresh in my mind. The thing about it as well is Brighton is they've gone with a manager. They've stuck with him. There's been times when even the fans have turned on him. He's been booed as late as November last year.
Wow.
So for the style of play that he was doing and what he was trying to do, he sold since June last year, so 13, 14 months. They sold 3 players for £120 million.
Fair play.
Fair play. And in that same period, we've sold players for about £25 million.
Good luck to them.
Well, it was saying they're Oseida or whatever his name was, who was playing in the middle.
Yeah.
They were saying that they got him. They knew that Bissoma or whatever his name is went to Brighton, Tottenham.
Yeah.
They knew he was going, and they got him prepped and got him ready to step in for this season.
Well, their scouting is obviously second to none because, the Cucurella, they'd only had him a year.
Yeah.
And made about 30-40 million pound profit on him.
It's exactly what we should be.
But and this is the thing, when you look at it, we've never been that club. We've never been that club that could buy a player and sell him a couple of years later for a big profit. Is that sangria taste all right?
Yeah, sorry, I should have muted myself.
Yeah. Okay,
sorry.
I'll tell you.
Yeah, and that's what that's frustrating. But I just don't believe in this bogey shit. I just think we're just poor. We were poor all over the pitch.
Perhaps there is an hangover. I mean, you've done the game now, but for me,
just give you a stat attack before you say it, just to show 50% each possession. 13 shots on target for 13 shots for West Ham, 3 on target, 11 shots for Brighton, 2 on target. We had 5 corners, they had 4. So on paper, we should have done better, but they were more clinical. They had 2 shots on target.
It wasn't even how clinical they were. their control of the ball.
Yeah.
I mean, they hold possession so well. We're chasing the ball. We're chasing shadows.
I mean, both goals. If you, and in this thing, if you're going to bear down on someone, both goals, Zuma was part of the problem.
Yeah.
So in the
he's
first goal,
he's looking injured.
yeah, the first goal gave the ball away. The second goal, he was too tight to. I think it was Gross who flicked it round the corner for Trossard to run onto. If you took all 11 of their players and put them in a West Ham shirt and said that's the West Ham team, I bet majority of West Ham fans would be asking, can we have our old team back? And yet, they're performing like that. In regards to the game, the other thing that realistically,
before you start the game, did you get?
No,
in
I'm not going to go.
right?
No, I'm not going to go. Thing. All I'm going to say is the substitutes. He put Skamaka on. Yeah, he kept Antonio on, but he just pushed Antonio out wide. So there was no change of shape. We had a problem with the shape. He didn't change the shape. But not only that, then he's got two wingers that were inverted. So their better foot is to cut in. Well, that's no good to Skamaka. If you look when Cornet was out and he's out wide left, he puts the ball in the box. Skamaka heads it home. So the evidence was there Thursday, the best way to use him, and he didn't.
But they were doing that in the first half. They were putting the ball in the box, and Webster and they're big defenders, aren't they?
Yeah, but
they got big defenders.
It weren't until the second half, and then funny enough, I mean Souček, he was unlucky. He had a couple of headers, and the keeper pulled off some couple of blinding saves. But that was it. That was our attacking prowess.
Wow.
All done in the space of 3 corners. That's it.
It's just, again, frustrating that where were the new players? You can't keep doing the same thing and expect a different. That's the definition of madness.
It's not often I agree with Nigel, but Nigel said before the season, he said, "Be careful, we don't make too much change." So,
yeah.
We did talk about we need 7 players, a minimum
But he
of
hasn't
7
done
players.
any changes, has he?
But hang on, I'm just going to say that. So, we've signed 7 players. We're about to sign our 7th. We'll talk about that later. But you can't use that's called. I mean, it could have caused disruption on the training ground and in the dressing room. But you can't say it's because we started the season with the same players, didn't we? At City, I think there was one change. None of the new players against Forest, and Kira was the only change again on.
Yeah, but if
Brighton.
you look at it, I don't think we were that bad against City. I don't. Against Forest, we were by far the better team. We got mugged.
No, we got
so
unlucky.
actually, so far this season, only Saturday's game has been the bad one. Sunday's game has been the bad one.
Yeah.
So there's ways of we can all get wrapped up in
well,
being
let's not
disappointed.
overreact.
And that's what I'm saying.
Let's not do an
It's
overreaction. And look, there's a lot of people who don't like Moyes. I've been speaking to people that have been lurking in the background, a bit like how I say it. Dare I say it, the GSB out brigade. They're just looking for an excuse to go, GSB out. Well, the same as the people who never really liked Moyes and have tolerated him, thinking, well, there's no point saying Moyes out when we finished 6th, then we finished 7th. We got in the semi-final of the Europa League. We qualified for Europa. We qualified for the Europa Conference League. They look a bit daft saying Moyes out, but I just feel they've been waiting for their opportunity to have a knee-jerk reaction because they never liked him in the first place, never supported him in the first place, don't like his style of football.
Yeah, it's
anything more to say about the game apart from bad day in the office, Nigel?
No, I know you was going to go on. I mean, getting in.
It
was funny.
ask.
Quickly, can I just point
go
out?
on.
Yeah, you tweeted out Sunday. Cues, photographs of cues. Tag me into it.
You sent them to me.
No, not my photos, son.
Who are they?
I don't know. Have a look.
Town Lens. They came from you.
No, they'd never. And this is the thing. I'm looking at them thinking, because I looked at my phone today thinking, why is everyone going mad? And at me. And I'm looking at them thinking, not my fucking photos.
Because I gave you a credit check. Maybe
I know
they all
you
came
did.
from Canning Town Lens then.
No. Mr. Ben on Twitter says, why have you used one of his pictures?
Well, they came from somewhere. I'm just having a look where they came from. Maybe
Blimey.
they all came from Len. I'm looking back now. And I was thinking, what are you going on
You
about?
and Hugh are like a match made in heaven, really, aren't you?
Why?
Because neither of you know what the bloody hell's going on. I mean, you got him leaving on the bottom of the email that's been copied and pasted the terms and conditions of the sender of the email on an article. Yeah. I looked up that company as well. Dear, oh dear.
You did send me a picture of
no,
Turnstile C.
I did not send you a picture.
You
I
did.
put a picture in the group chat.
Yeah. All right.
So
in
now,
the group
me,
chat,
that's different.
hang on. And you did send me 2 pictures.
Yeah, but you didn't use none of them.
Yeah, I did.
No, you
Yeah, I
didn't.
did. So Len sent me 2 pictures. So those pictures are all from you and Len.
No, they're
2
not.
Yeah, they are.
They're not.
I will show you. Look, it's not a podcast gold moment, but I will send you your 2 pictures that I used and Len's 2 pictures he used, and you'll see they match up completely.
Well, I'm
You're
looking at the
mistaken.
the 3 pictures you tweeted, yeah,
Yeah.
and
There was a 4th one afterwards, which was Turnstile C.
well, there you go. I'm looking at this
But-
one where you've given me a photo credit, yeah.
Yeah.
You've left in where you're staying in Spain, so people can see you're all in Spain.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the 3 pictures, not one of them came from me.
Yeah, one did.
No, it never.
It did. The one going towards security came from you at 2:50. I promise you. Anyway, let's not. It's boring.
Weren't at 250.
It was at 2:50.
150.
I'll screenshot it and send it to you.
150 Spanish time.
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah, 150. You were late then. Did you? Cut a long story short. After our argument, did you have a
wish you
problem
would.
with NFC?
Getting in. Did you have any trouble getting in, Nigel?
Well, no, because
Yeah.
I got my card, didn't I?
Did anyone else have any problems?
Oh yes. Oh yes.
They were just sending me continuous. Have you checked your thing? Is it because mine never appeared?
Yeah.
I wasn't going. My son and my mum went because obviously I'm away. But I ended up actually, because they didn't appear on my phone, I ended up downloading them and printing them off because I didn't want to take the risk.
No, well, Charlie had his on the phone, or the barcode.
Yeah.
So, and I took a guest on a spare ticket, and I got him the barcode as well, and they both got in. People using the NFC, blowing it on cold. Some people
Yeah.
straight away. Next person didn't work. 2 brothers got split up. Unfortunately, the younger one was stuck outside. The older one is now inside. And the woman's going, have you got it on your phone? Can you do it for him? Because his card was just, his phone, he had the thing up on his phone, and it was just going red all the time. And like, the poor kid didn't know what to do. The older brother, the steward was useless, so the geezer tapped his card through, and the 2 of them went through.
Well, I know mine never renewed. I know.
Do you know what? I see that happen 3 times. 2 people getting in together because the NFC weren't working, and I weren't badging and squeezing. So, look, and this is the funny thing is, my card works straight away. There are people out there that say, "Oh, the NFC, it's fantastic. It will work with good people. That's good." But I tell you what, we never had none of this when we had a card. There was no queues.
I agree with you.
You just walked in.
Oh,
None of this.
I thought it would be a lot more chaos than it was, but I think a lot of people.
I think it's one of them
checked
things
it,
that will
they're
get better.
expired. Yeah, it will.
The problem
And-
is, you don't want to go in the ground early. Now, the reason why I got in, I missed the first 7 minutes. The reason is it's twofold, and I do blame you a little bit actually.
Go on.
Well, one, I went to a drink in the White Post Cafe.
Yeah, I heard.
2, you put a picture in the group chat and the turnstiles were empty. So I went, oh, time for another beer. There's no queue.
Well, it's true. When my son and my mum and the others got there, the
that's like
turnstiles were empty.
half
And
hour,
see,
3/4 before kick-off, wasn't it?
it was, but he leaves it too late. But he always does.
But yeah, but then you think, oh, I'll have another beer. And so I'm glad we did have the other beer, to be honest. So yeah, we had a queue which was a bit longer at security than we used to have on Bridge 5, and then the queue to Turnstile C obviously was not good. And it's a lot of people. The thing is, it's 40 odd thousand season ticket holders, so there's about 15,000 non-season ticket holders who possibly don't understand how the system works. Season ticket holders probably get in generally no problem. You just think...
I think there's still a lot of people on holiday like me, and I think a lot of people had snapped up those tickets. In fact, I'll tell you a story. I originally put my tickets on Ticket Trader because George was supposed to use my tickets, and he said, like, I've had a week of it, Sean, put them on Ticket Trader. I put them on Ticket Trader and they didn't sell. And my son was desperate to go, so I asked my mum, said, oh, can you do you want to use my ticket? And she said, yeah.
So you can take a ticket off Ticket Trader if it doesn't sell?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, so I put them up twice and then took them down again, put them up again. Oh. So, it shows, even in my section, which is good seats, they weren't selling on Ticket Trader, so a lot of people must have, I think, away. A lot of empties. Did you buy a beer?
No.
So, I don't know if we discussed it last time about all the big committees said boycott the beer. The price did reduce. On Thursday, it reduced to £6.60 for Amstel, and the cheapest cider. But
I noticed that picture I sent you went viral.
It did, yeah.
Didn't credit me for that one.
No, it didn't. You got so upset about the first time I credited you. I can't win. And then, of course, when my son arrived and Keith arrived, they sent me pictures, and they were pretty empty before kick-off. But as you sent me a picture at half-time with big queues.
Yeah.
And people replied, yeah, the game drove us to drink, which I did think funny. But they have made another concession. They have introduced Foster's, which a lot of people say is not a beer, at £6.30. So they've dropped another... They went down to £6. They were £6.80, cheapest beer. They then went down to £6.60 for Thursday. They are now at £6.30 for Foster's.
But hold up, the price, the average, the guide price is below £6 if you take the average of the three teams.
Sorry, say it again.
What's it they call the mean average of the comparison?
Price is £5.75.
Yeah.
So if you take it, Spurs is £5.19.
Yeah. Well, look, we'll take it as £5.75 for you bore everyone.
It is.
Everyone.
Yeah.
Right. So it's £5.75. Yeah. Well, that's what we should be paying then.
Well, there's a bit more complicated, which I can't go on. I'll talk about it on this podcast. But there has been some pushback from the other side, and there is some suggestion that some of those clubs are about to increase their prices as well.
All right, okay then. So last season, when those clubs were even less, we weren't.
£5.35.
Right, and we were paying £6.20 a pint.
Correct.
So
we were well over.
They've had a full season of mugging us off. Notice no one from the club spotted that.
Yeah, I agree. And look, they are, for whatever reason, other people should have bought it up. There's a campaign now. The supporters clubs are behind it. The ISC. They
do exist then.
They are threatening to go legal. They are pushing back from the other side. There's been a suggestion that maybe everybody should get a free pint of beer as a compensation when it's sorted out.
Yeah.
Full of good ideas, isn't he, Dave?
Whole sink.
Yeah.
Oh, right, yeah. Anyway, let's see how that one's... look, I don't tend to drink in there anyway anymore, but apparently... if you go early, isn't it £5.50 if you go early? Do you see the early? I think
it's cheaper than that. Yeah, but...
what a bargain.
Yeah, but that's...
But you know what? And I tweeted this out on Sunday, right? If they can sell it early bird at that price and still make a profit, one would think they're not selling at a loss. Why can't they sell it at £5.75?
There's the absolute answer to this is for people not to buy it. And I think what it shows you on Sunday is that not everyone's on Twitter, not everyone looks into this and buys into that, and people will do what they want, don't they?
Yeah, you're right. It's turnstiles, 12.30. Early bird offers, £4.95 for a pint of Amstel until 1:15. So the first 45.
I mean, the
minutes,
trick
it's
there is, I suppose,
£4.95.
is to load up, isn't it?
Have warm beer.
Well, no, you buy them.
It's never warm in there, is it, mate?
And take it over there and take it with you. So don't buy one at a time.
Well, the other problem is they've stopped you taking in water or any reusable cups or anything else. Look, Carmel asked me.
It's
to
just a
bring this up,
shithole, isn't it, Sean?
right?
Come on.
You are not. The policy changed on Thursday. You're not allowed. She used to bring in a bottle of water and take the cap off, right? And as from Thursday, they stopped that. They took it away from it. They said you've got to decant the cups, right? Now, the same, if you want to use a reusable cup, one of those insulated cups, you can't, or a water bottle, you can't bring them in anymore. She tried to bring in some orange cartons. She wasn't allowed to bring them in on Sunday. I asked the question, because I'm sure you heard this on Price of Football with our friend Kieran Maguire, that Man City had banned people taking in sun cream. I asked the club supporters services, are you allowed to take in sun cream, or has that got to be decanted into the club? Didn't answer. Asked about cartons. I mean, it's just getting silly, isn't it? This prohibited item. If you can't, how hot it is, you can't bring in water, you can't bring in sun cream. It's just gone mad. It's gone mad. All they want to do is stripe you. If you've seen Woodstock Trainwreck.
Yeah, I have. Yeah.
Right, this is people are going to riot in the end if you try and rip them off. Have you seen that, John?
No, I haven't watched it yet.
Watch it. It's really good.
I've got to watch
Anyway.
it after my daughter's been to Reading this week.
If you know your music, just seeing the lineup would have sold you. As I sat down and watched episode 1 with Sam, and they announced who they were thinking the lineup, and you're thinking, this ain't going to end well.
Yeah.
3/4 of the bands was so un-Woodstock for a start.
Well, I remember it. I mean,
Limp
Bizkit were there,
Bizkit.
didn't
Limp
they?
Bizkit. Well, I've got my son into Limp Bizkit. He didn't know about it, and I was
Yeah.
telling him about this, and he went, "What's Limp Bizkit?" And he went on Spotify and started listening to them. And he went,
Well, but there's Korn.
Korn.
Even Kid Rock at the time.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, he was a nut.
The quote of the thing was, or the song of the weekend had to be Red Hot Chili Peppers playing Fire. And when you see it, John, it'll explain why. It was quite funny, actually.
Yeah. No, I'd say I've got my youngest going to Reading.
Yeah.
On Wednesday she goes. I think I'll sit
Watch
and
it after
until
that,
after that. Yeah, I don't want to.
Um,
I understand.
Well,
the
no,
premise.
you've been to a music festival, though, John, haven't you?
I've never done the camping out. It's not me, mate.
Right.
But
Should we talk transfers? Because we're running out of time.
Yeah, go on.
Emerson Palomini, is it no, the Chelsea guy. We've done a deal today.
Chelsea's fourth choice left back.
Yeah, so we've agreed personal terms finally. He did want over 100 grand a week. He's agreed personal terms, not 100 grand a week. We've agreed a fee with Chelsea, 13 million plus 2 million of extras. He's doing his medical tonight. Probably that sometimes is a 2-day medical, so tomorrow. So he's likely to sign a contract, likely to be a 7th signing by this weekend. So that's 7th signing. We've also gone back to Bruges to make an increased offer for the midfielder. Vanaken, is that his name?
No idea. Again, I've never heard of him.
And he could be our 8th signing.
He's been withdrawn from their squad, hasn't he? Now
He has, yeah. He wants. I mean, it's very public. The president sort of said, we know he wants to go West Ham. We hope he stays here. He wants to move to West Ham. So, it's all about setting the fee now. But people are don't tend to be excited about these two. I tell you, one is not, and I spoke to someone this morning. There was stuff about a South American that we'd bid $6 million for, and I'm trying to remember his name. It's something like Lazio, but it's not Lazio. Do you remember? I did tell you, boys.
Sorry, what are you talking about?
The South American.
What, from Flamengo?
Yes.
Lazaro.
Lazaro, that's it.
Yeah.
I said it was something like Lazio.
I'd like to thank
Lazaro.
Jeremy Peter on Twitter for that, because I'm just reading what he's tweeted.
Lazio.
Lazaro.
I've been told Lazaro, nothing in it at all. So, agent talk, we haven't bid, we're not interested. And it didn't sound very much like a David Moyes signing.
No, it sounded like a Sullivan special, didn't it? He does like a South American gamble.
Well, yeah, I couldn't personally comment on that. And that's it. I mean, I don't know. Apart from those two, nothing else is on my radar. I know we're being...
There's still talk of Brozier by the end of the window.
He's injured, at the moment. Do you know that?
No.
He's injured.
There's talk of him on loan, maybe.
We could go for a small loan. Eric Bailey's also been talked about on loan as well, John.
Who's Eric Bailey?
He's a Man United defender, isn't he?
Oh, he's going to PSG, isn't he?
Really? Jesus.
Or he's going somewhere else. I think I saw that today. He's on his way somewhere else.
Oh.
But
and
Gallagher,
who's the other one?
as
Gallagher.
well.
Yeah, Gallagher is
On
the
loan,
other one.
possibly.
Marseille loan move is. I knew it'd been offered to us. Man United agree with Marseille for Eric Bailey loan. You're right, John. 23 hours ago.
Yeah,
I missed that.
But it's.
So
we'll just hope that
we look like we're going to get 8, which is what we sort of said we needed. But as you said earlier, he made a real piece of saying, "I'll only get people that will improve the squad and get us to a top 6." The pressure's on him now. What do we know about football? Maybe he sees something in these players that we don't know. Maybe Emerson is an amazing player.
Don't know half of them. Emerson I know, or I guess we all know. But I didn't know Skamaka.
Yeah.
Cornet we knew. He's a decent player.
Yeah, he looks good. I was quite impressed.
So we just got to hope they get them going.
Anyway. I think that's... Is there anything else, Nigel? I've got to go and barbecue some
very
salmon.
quickly, what do you think of Declan Rice's... I've seen a lot of people upset about his interview. Did you see it, John?
I did, yeah. I put it on the thing. I don't like it. We all know it, but you don't want it to be spoken about, do we? Because a bit of us hope that maybe one day we'll do a Leicester, don't we? It seems a little bit...
I think he's trying to find his feet.
I didn't have a problem with it, and I suppose that's why I was a bit... For me, I don't think, well, what's he said wrong there? I don't... we're not Man City.
No, we all know it, but we all live in... realistically, but there's that little percentage that thinks that, one day, maybe...
Yeah, but perhaps
Leicester.
Perhaps the players have to live in the real world.
That sort of mentality is an inferiority complex mentality, which is proven that we operate with time and time again.
Yeah.
When we get on a pitch against the Liverpool but then we beat them in the cup City in the cup last season. I don't know. I just wouldn't have said it. I wouldn't crucify him for it, but I just wouldn't have said it.
Do you know what? It's a bit like Moyes. A lot of people are sort of coming out and giving Rice a hard time, and I think that's wrong. I just think he's our new captain. He's still 23 years old, right?
Well, I've seen all sorts on Twitter. Have you not seen all the pictures of him with girls in Vegas and?
Oh yeah.
It's all coming out.
I know
his missus was at home having a baby, and he was. It's just like
I know.
People
we knew that
at
at the
the
time.
knives out.
Yeah, I know. It's awful, isn't it? Anyway, I've got a fish to barbecue. We're probably at the hour mark now, aren't we, Nigel?
Yeah, around that. Yeah.
Yeah. Predictions then. 2 games. Obviously, we've got Viborg away, and then we've got Villa away. John.
I'm going to predict a 1-1 draw against Viborg. We go through.
Yeah.
And a 2-1 win against Villa, because they're struggling as well a bit. So I think I'm thinking with my heart there than my head. But yeah.
Nigel?
Viborg, I think we'll go through, but it'll be a draw or a narrow win.
Okay. You know, I need an actual number.
Okay, 12.
12-0. And Villa away?
Ooh, Villa away. I mean, they're not playing well either. But
he's under pressure, isn't he?
He's under a lot of pressure as well. You know, how in the summer when West Ham fans were moaning about, they bought their players early. It don't mean nothing, does it? At the end of the day, I'll go for a draw.
Okay. What? 1-1? 12-12?
Let's go to 10-0.
Okay. So I'll go 1-0 win.
That.
Yeah.
1-0 win away in Denmark.
We're 10-0 down with 15 minutes to go, though, John.
Keeping Skamaka on the corner.
And
they turn it round.
Yeah.
Just as a change, I'll go for 1-0 win, our first win away in Villa Park, and we break the rut and we start to turn around our season. In Moyes we trust. I didn't mention at the beginning, no Len tonight because he's miserable and he's painting. No George tonight because he's miserable and he's cooking paella. Oh, and he's looking after his wife and baby. But apart from that, I'm sure we'll all be back next week. Maybe not next Monday because it's a bank holiday. So we'll have to discuss maybe a Tuesday next week. I've been Sean. Nigel has been...
in my shed.
And John has been...
watching Man U go 1-up.
Oh, bloody hell.
Yeah, you heard it here first, people.
Jade and
Nigel?
Sancho.
Even though time you listen to it, the game's over.
Nigel,
Yes.
press the button. Come on, you Iron.
Bobby Moore. More than just a podcast.
Normal service will resume
More than
next
just a
week.
podcast.
Maybe.